right, so get ready, because today we're diving into something pretty different.
Oh, yeah.
It's a book called Convenience Store Woman
Okay.
by Sayaka Murata, and
Interesting.
it's about a woman who finds her purpose and her identity
Okay.
working at a convenience store.
Working at a convenience store.
It's really about so much more than just a job, though.
I can see how that would be.
We're going to unpack how this, seemingly really ordinary setting opens up all these questions about societal expectations.
Oh, wow.
What makes us feel fulfilled personally?
Yeah, that's fascinating. How can a convenience store
I know, it's really interesting.
help with all that?
Yeah, and what I think is so fascinating about this book is that it uses this very specific setting to explore these universal themes.
Right.
The clash between what we want as individuals and what society kind of pushes on us.
The pressure.
The pressures, exactly.
To conform.
The search for meaning. In the world that we live in that feels very chaotic right now.
A very chaotic time.
Very chaotic time. And at the center of it all is Keiko.
Keiko.
She's our main character.
All right.
And she challenges all of our ideas about what it means to be normal.
Interesting.
The novel starts by taking us back to when Keiko was a child.
Right.
Right away, we get this feeling that she just sees the world differently.
Okay, so how does she see it?
Well, she just has these reactions to situations that most of us would find really emotionally charged.
Okay.
But she doesn't.
Got it.
For example,
there's
this scene where she finds a dead bird in the park.
Oh, God.
While the other kids are upset.
Yeah.
Keiko immediately thinks,
Yeah.
I should take this home and cook it.
What?
And feed it to my dad for dinner.
Oh, my gosh, that's so strange.
Because she remembers her dad really likes yakitori.
Uh-huh.
So she just assumes that he would like...
Any bird.
Any bird. It's like one of those moments where you're reading it, you're like...
Yeah.
Haha. But also, wait, what?
That's a little disturbing.
It's really disturbing.
Yeah.
But it just highlights how literally she interprets things.
Yeah.
And then there's another incident.
Okay.
Where she hits a boy with a spade.
Oh, gosh.
During a fight.
Oh, no.
Because her classmates were yelling, stop them.
Oh, my gosh.
And she was like...
She took it literally.
She took it very literally.
Oh.
She completely missed the nuance of what was happening.
The context.
The emotional context.
Totally.
So these incidents obviously raise some red flags for her parents.
Big time.
Yeah.
They start to think she needs to be cured.
Like there's something wrong with her.
Right. Like she needs to be more like everyone else.
Like everyone else.
And this idea of being cured really sets the stage
for
this central struggle that she faces throughout the whole book, right? This tension between who she really is and who everybody expects her to be.
Yes. And it's interesting how the convenience store becomes this unexpected safe space for her.
Oh, wow.
The author does a great job of describing these little details.
Yeah.
The sounds, the routines, the products. You can really feel how comfortable she is in this world.
That's interesting.
It's almost like a refuge from the chaos outside.
The outside world.
The outside world.
Yeah.
And I love how she talks about the store manual.
Oh, really?
Like it's her guide.
Wow.
For how to act normal.
So she uses it to figure out how to interact with people.
Exactly.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It's like a script she can follow to fit in.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is that she's content.
Really?
She's genuinely happy in this role.
Even though she's following a script.
Even though she's following a script.
Oh, whoa.
And she even says that she feels like a cog.
A cog.
In the machine of society. Oh. And for her, that's not a bad thing.
No, it gives her purpose.
It gives her purpose and belonging.
Wow.
That she doesn't feel anywhere else.
But she can't avoid those outside pressures, can she?
She can't escape those pressures.
From family and friends.
Family and friends are constantly like,
oh, yeah.
When are you getting married?
When are you going to find a boyfriend?
When are you going to have kids?
Right, all those societal expectations.
They just don't get why she's so happy.
Yeah.
Just working at the convenience store.
Do you think she's really happy?
Yeah, I think she is.
Or is she just telling herself that?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Maybe.
And I'm curious what you think, listener.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that pressure to conform?
I think we all have at some point.
Even if it doesn't make you happy.
Especially from family, right?
Yeah, especially from family.
They want what's best for you, but sometimes...
They have their own ideas.
They have their own ideas of what that looks like.
For sure.
So how does Keiko deal with all this pressure?
Well, her sister, Mommy...
Oh, yeah, Mommy.
Is like on a mission to rehabilitate her.
Oh, gosh.
We see this in how Keiko interacts with her friends who are married.
Yeah.
They just can't wrap their heads around it.
Why she's not married.
Yeah.
Why she doesn't have kids.
Yeah. And it's like...
They just think she's missing out.
She's missing out.
Something.
Like there's only one way to live a good life.
To be happy.
To be happy, exactly.
And if you don't follow that path...
You're deficient.
You're deficient somehow.
Yeah.
So it's this pressure. No. It's this judgment, this constant feeling of being misunderstood.
Right.
That leads her to this turning point in the story.
Okay.
We'll call it the Shiraha incident.
The Shiraha incident.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
This is where things get interesting.
All right, so
Shiraha is a problematic coworker.
He really is.
Like disruptive.
Yeah.
Kind of creepy.
Creepy, stalkerish.
He
ends up getting fired.
Yeah.
Because of how he behaves.
He just can't.
He can't behave.
Follow the rules.
He can't follow the rules.
So how does he end up?
I'm curious how you see his role in this whole story.
I think Shiraha is like...
Okay.
He represents those expectations.
Oh, wow.
That Keiko is trying so hard to deal with.
Okay.
He embodies those pressures to conform.
He's like the poster child for what they want her to be with.
Exactly. He's like a caricature of the kind of guy that society expects her to end up with.
Yes, and the irony is he ends up living
with her?
With Keiko.
Oh my gosh, no way.
That was a twist I was not expecting.
That's a huge twist.
It really was. And I was like...
So what makes her...
Why would she do that?
Yeah, what leads her to that decision?
What leads her to that decision?
Yeah.
Well, I think part of it is she wants to help him.
Okay.
Like she genuinely...
She sees him as someone who needs help.
Yeah, like someone who needs support and guidance.
Right.
But I also think it's the pressure.
That pressure from those around her.
From her family and friends.
Yeah.
It's like, by having him in her life...
It makes her seem...
She seems more normal in the outside world.
Like she's conforming
to
their expectation.
And they can finally accept her.
Right. But this
pretending.
This facade.
Right, this facade of a normal relationship.
How long can it last?
Right, how long can that possibly last?
And that is where...
That's where things
start to get really interesting.
Oh, boy.
We're going to get into all of that.
Okay.
The fallout from the Shiraha incident
right.
in part 2 of our deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
I hope you'll join us.
Me too. This is fascinating.
It's a good one.
I'm really curious to see what happens next.
Me too. So we left off with Keiko in this weird situation.
Living with Shiraha.
Living with Shiraha, this guy who's like...
The opposite of her.
The opposite of everything she is.
Right.
And I'm really curious to see what happens. Like a really fragile situation.
Super fragile.
Yeah, because she's trying to keep up this, like... This front of a normal relationship.
Have a normal relationship.
But underneath it all, she's still struggling.
Who she is.
Yeah, who she is.
Where she belongs.
What she wants.
Yeah. And remember, she left.
She left her job.
Her convenience store job.
To take care of him.
Yeah. Which felt like such a big sacrifice.
Yeah, because that job meant so much to her.
So much to her, do you think?
It's hard to say, I think.
She regrets it.
Maybe, on some level.
Yeah.
You remember how the author describes her after she leaves the store?
She's not taking care of herself.
Not at all. She's lost weight.
She's hiding in her closet.
Yeah, it's like she's lost a part of herself.
It really is.
Like she doesn't know what to do with herself.
And it makes me think, listener.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that way?
Oh, yeah.
Like you lost a part of yourself?
Like when you left a job.
When you left a job or a relationship.
Not just a routine.
Yeah.
A routine.
Anything familiar.
It can be really unsettling.
It really can.
So this feeling of being lost leads Keiko back.
Back to the convenience store.
Back to what she knows.
Yeah.
I love how the author describes this.
What does she say?
It's like she can't resist.
Okay.
That familiar world.
It's calling to her.
The sounds, the smells.
Those great lights.
Bright lights.
Yeah.
It's like a magnet.
And she starts working.
Immediately.
Without even thinking.
Yeah.
Just like she never left.
Like it's all muscle memory.
It's just instinct.
Total instinct?
It's like those routines are like...
Ingrained
in her very being.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
But of course...
Oh, here we go.
This is Keiko's life.
Yeah.
It can't stay peaceful forever.
Something's got to happen.
Something's got to happen.
Who shows up?
Who else?
Shiraha.
Shiraha.
Of course.
At the worst possible moment.
Every time.
So he sees her working.
Yeah.
He is mortified.
Mortified.
He drags her out of there.
Oh my gosh.
Scolding her.
For behaving so strangely.
He's like, this is a violation.
Of all social norms.
Of social norms.
She can't handle it.
He's so embarrassed.
And this is what leads to...
This leads to that incredible moment.
Yeah, one of the most powerful lines in the book.
When she says,
yeah,
I am A convenience store animal.
I am a convenience store animal.
Chills. Chills.
Such a powerful statement.
It really is.
So defiant.
Yeah, she's rejecting.
Rejecting everything he's trying to
impose on her.
And it makes us ask.
It makes us ask.
Whose definition of normal
are we following?
Are we following?
Who decides what's normal?
Who decides what's acceptable?
What's acceptable?
And why do we feel the need to conform?
Even when it makes us unhappy.
It's so interesting because he keeps saying...
What's he say?
You'll never be accepted.
Society will reject you.
Society will reject you.
You'll be alone.
You'll be alone, but...
But wasn't that's exactly...
What happened when she tried...
To live back...
When she tried to fit in...
To fit into his vision.
To his vision of normal...
She was miserable.
She was so unhappy.
Yeah.
Like the most isolated.
It was only when
she went back.
When she went back to the store.
To the store.
And embraced.
Who she really was.
Who she really was.
That she found some peace.
That she found any sense of belonging.
Yeah, even if it was a belonging.
Even if it was a belonging.
That he couldn't understand.
Jira couldn't understand.
Right.
So what does this all mean?
What does it mean?
Is the author saying?
Is she saying...
We should all reject society.
And become convenience store animals.
And become convenience store animals.
I don't think it's about literal convenience stores. Okay. I think it's more about...
Challenging the idea.
Challenging the idea of what's normal.
Who decides what's normal?
Yeah, who gets to decide?
Why do we conform?
Why do we try so hard?
To fit in.
To fit in?
What happens to the people who don't?
The people who don't fit in.
It's about recognizing that there are so many
different ways.
Different ways to live a fulfilling life.
And they don't always look the same.
They don't always look...
Like what we've been told.
Like what we've been told.
Or what we expect.
What resonates with me the most is that we don't have to...
We don't have to apologize.
Apologize for who we are.
For who we are.
Even if it seems weird.
To
other people.
Even if our dreams.
Our desires.
Seem strange.
Seem unconventional.
It's okay.
We can find our own purpose.
We can find our own meaning.
And it might not be.
In the place that we expect.
Where we expect.
Right.
What do you think, listener?
Yeah, listener.
Have you ever felt like an outsider?
Like you just didn't belong.
Where did you find belonging?
Where did you find your people?
Yeah.
Your place.
That's what's so great about this book.
Yeah.
It really makes you think.
It sparks these questions.
That does.
That makes you look inward.
It reminds us it's okay to be different.
It's okay to be different.
To embrace what makes you you.
Yeah, even if it doesn't fit.
Even if it doesn't fit the mold.
The mold.
This has been such a thought-provoking deep dive.
It really has.
I feel like I understand Keiko better.
Me too.
And maybe even myself a little bit.
That's the power of stories.
It is.
They let us see the world.
Through someone else's eyes.
Through someone else's eyes.
And they make us question.
Question everything.
Question everything.
Our own beliefs.
Our own assumptions.
Yeah, about what matters.
About what really matters in life.
What a good life even means.
Yeah. So as we wrap up.
Yeah.
Here's a final thought.
Okay.
If Keiko can find her purpose
in
a convenience store.
In a convenience store.
Where will you find yours?
Where will you find yours?
What unconventional things?
What brings you joy?
What brings you joy?
What makes you feel like you belong?
What makes you feel like you belong?
Maybe it's time.
Maybe it's time.
To embrace those things.
To embrace those things.
To celebrate your own unique perspective.
Yeah.
To create your own definition.
Your own definition of normal.
Of normal.
That's all for our deep dive to Convenience Store Woman.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us. Convenience Store Animal.
Yeah.
That really stuck with me.
Well, me too.
So defiant, but
also kind of
sad.
Yeah, there's a sadness to it.
Like she's resigning herself
to being different.
To being different.
To never fitting in.
But also, like, she's owning it.
Yeah,
This is who I am.
And me.
And I'm not going to apologize for it.
Take it or leave it.
But Shiraha.
Serha.
He doesn't get it.
Not at all.
He's horrified.
He calls her grotesque.
Inhuman.
He just can't deal with it.
Why is he so threatened?
I think because it challenges.
It challenges.
Everything he believes in.
Everything he believes in.
Not about the world.
About how things should be.
About how people should behave.
He's so invested in these
norms.
Societal expectations.
Yeah, he's like the embodiment of that pressure.
To conform.
To conform. To fit in.
And Keiko's just like,
nope.
I'm not playing that game.
I'm not playing by your rules.
It's funny, though. Because he keeps saying, you're going to be an outcast.
The society will reject you.
You're going to be alone.
But wasn't that already happening?
Yeah, when she was trying to
be normal.
By his standards.
By his standards.
She was miserable.
She was hiding in her closet.
She had no purpose.
It was only when she went back.
To the store.
To her world.
To her world.
That she came alive again.
That she found any sense of
peace.
Of belonging.
Yeah, a belonging that
he couldn't comprehend.
That he just didn't understand.
So I guess it comes down to...
Yeah, what's the takeaway here?
What are we supposed to learn from Keiko?
I don't think it's about...
literal
working in a convenience store.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I don't think the author is saying...
we should all quit our jobs.
And go work at 7-Eleven.
Right.
I think it's more about... questioning those expectations.
Questioning what normal even means.
Who gets to decide what's normal?
Why do we feel like we have to...
fit into this box?
This box that someone else made.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that...
there are other ways to live.
So many other ways.
That might not look like...
what society tells us.
What society tells us they should.
It's okay to be different.
It's okay to find your own path.
Your own version of a good life.
What really speaks to me is that...
what's that?
We don't have to apologize.
For being ourselves.
For being ourselves.
For wanting different things.
For being different.
Even if those things seem weird.
To other people.
To other people.
Like it's okay to embrace.
those parts of ourselves.
Yeah, those parts of ourselves.
That make us unique.
That make us unique.
Even if they don't fit the mold.
This has been such a
fascinating deep dive
into convenience store woman.
It really makes you think.
It does make you think.
About conformity?
About societal pressures.
About what really matters in life.
About what really matters.
I feel like I learned a lot.
I did too, and I feel like I understand.
You understand.
Keiko.
A lot better.
And maybe even yourself a little bit better.
Maybe even myself a little bit better.
That's what good books do.
They make you see the world.
In a new way.
In a new way, they challenge you.
They make you question your assumptions.
And sometimes they even help you.
Help you.
Understand yourself.
Understand yourself better.
So if Keiko can find her purpose...
in a convenience store?
Where will you find yours?
What brings you joy?
What makes you feel like you belong?
What makes you feel truly alive?
Maybe it's time to embrace those things.
To celebrate your uniqueness.
To create your own definition.
Of what it means.
To be normal.
To be happy.
To be happy. That's all for our deep dives into convenience store woman.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us.